It's time for our first interview for the day on 89.5 FM. 061 862 1065. 061 862 1065. I'll be speaking to Kaashief. Kaashief, the Kids Can Cancer Foundation, which aims to improve the lifestyle and living conditions of kids who are faced with cancer. They assist and aid them financially with much needed household essentials. The organization's main objectives are to provide services and funding towards the general awareness and early detection of cancer, and provides aid towards the children and families. Kaashief, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. It's Kusi. Am I getting the name correct?
Yes, yes, it's Kusi.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for talking to Bush Radio 89.5 FM. I know that you're busy, but you made sure that, you know what, I'm going to have time, for the mother of community radio station in Africa.
Absolutely.
So kicking it for cancer. Cancer is one of those things that is all over the planet, that is scary to a point where sometimes a lot of people don't even know how to deal with it, as finally as you get it, you start to see that, damn, it's even expensive to treat it, but organization like yours, they're saying that, you know what, we're going to be putting our hand in there, even if it's 2 cents, but at least we're going to do something. So before we even start on it, how's your week, Kaashief?
My week has been, as you just mentioned earlier, a bit chaotic. I feel like it should be Friday. In fact, I feel like it should be December already. But it's been up and down, and moments like these kind of, where I get to share just my experiences and create where we have these platforms where we get to share the plight and fight of our families that we, fight alongside, just really energizes me. For this, I appreciate.
Take me back, the foundation, how did it even start? Whose idea was it?
It was a brainchild of mine. In fact, it started on the back of my own experience with cancer. I was 21 years old at the peak of what I thought was the peak of my fitness. I developed a gland in my neck and then went for extra scans and picked up that I had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. But me being on this journey and seeing little ones, or at least speaking to the moms or dads and just kind of really trying to understand what these families are going through, especially the ones that have to go home to absolutely nothing. And now you can only but imagine the child, has just had treatment, whether it's chemotherapy, radiotherapy, they go home, and how do these families or parents, get or nurture these kids back to health, or what are their chances of beating this ugly disease if there's nothing in the fridge or if there's not a suitable bed to rest on? And that's what I kind of thought of. It's been a brainchild of mine for many years, and I thought, let me just get this started. And fortunately, with like-minded friends and family over the last, say, 2.5 years, we've been blessed to kind of just, use our platforms. It wasn't easy. As many organizations like ourselves have been hamstrung because of COVID, and it's not easy to kind of connect with businesses, to come on board. We've been fortunate to share these stories and use crowdfunding platforms, GoFundMe, BackaBuddy, to raise much needed funding, whether it's just to cover, nutritional needs, etc. So it's all just started from just having that kind of perspective and seeing what these families are actually going through post COVID. It's heart wrenching to see.
If you have just tuned in now, it's been to Kaashief from the Kids Can Cancer Foundation, which is one of the organizations that has been there highlighting the issues of cancer, not only to the patients, but also families. I don't know, I think I can hear myself just a bit on the radio in the background. I don't know if this radio is up there. Kaashief?
No, no, no. There's no radio behind me. I'm on
Oh, okay.
WhatsApp.
Oh,
So
that's why, brother. That's why I'm hearing myself a little bit back there. But so now I want to know, as soon as you started this initiative, how did it feel when you were seeing like, oh wow, I'm actually doing what was in my mind, and it's kind of like going the way that I want to. How did that whole feeling? Yeah, how was it?
it is a roller coaster of emotions. I mean, there are times. I mean, there's pros and cons to this journey. For me personally, I've had to. There are times where I had to, take a social media kind of like just take all my attention and away from social media and like a social media detox, simply because like just seeing these stories more often and seeing these little kids like just listening to these stories and having to kind of just be the voice for them often, I felt like just taking away from my own cup. But me, being or us rather playing a small part in this children's fight to beat this and them ringing the bell at the end of when they're on remission, that for me is like fills my cup so much more, and it kind of just fuels my passion to want to make a much bigger difference. And I've always envisaged us sharing the stories of these families in the truest form, and not just have platforms where we share statistics, which is so for me it just doesn't share the true meaning and picture what's happening out there at this point in time.
And as you mentioned, you guys are trying to improve the lifestyle of kids. So what are some of the main objectives that the organization has?
Well, we've started off by just creating platforms. I mean, I almost feel like we're medium and a voice for these families who offer suffering in silence. All right. So the objective is actually just to connect businesses, car clubs. I mean, on the day, on the 3rd, you mentioned the Fives tournament. That will be our first big tournament post-COVID. We're inviting car clubs, etc. So the objective is to actually connect these families and create a platform where we connect these families to small business, car clubs, people who are like-minded and who want to make a difference.
I'm loving it. And then obviously you also partnered with Aspire Promotions to put together a soccer tournament.
Yes.
Can you share us more on that one?
So I've actually seen the work done by Aspire Promotion, Abdul Basit in particular. He's actually been quite busy over the last couple of months, and I've just thought that I need to reach out to him because I like the look and feel, and him and I connect in many ways, and some of these concepts and ideas, and he also has a passion for wanting to make a difference in the lives of like these families. All right, and it was a no-brainer when we sat down. We wanted to kind of at least make some kind of difference, and then kick it off from there. And hopefully, this snowballs into like a mutually beneficial relationship between us and Aspiring Minds. So he's actually willingly come on board and said, "Listen, don't worry about finances. Let me just do my thing." And I'm grateful for that as well.
And then who plays though on the Five side? Is it companies or how does it work?
So no, it's open to anyone under 12, 14, 16, 18. I mean, at the moment, we just want to kind of, and I mentioned this to someone earlier. For me, we initially had a registration fee of 600 Rand per team. I mean, just to cover the cost of the event on the day. But it's less about the money and more about the support we get and the support we can show to these families, support and love to these families. I mean, we're inviting all our cancer families and kiddies to be there on the day. The car clubs will be doing drop-offs for them. They obviously do a park-off for the children as well. So it's less about that, and more the support and that we want, anyone out there to just come and support us on the day.
Can you please quickly share, the details, the time, the date, and also the venue?
Yes, so it will be at the Goodwood Sports Club. It will be the 3rd of December at the Arturf Arena. It's actually 54 Milton Road, Goodwood. All right, so it will be a fives tournament. It will be a park-off. There will be vendors. There will be some fun activities for the children. We will even have a Zumba, class. We will have stand-up comedians. So yeah, please come and show your love and support.
Kaashief, I also want to know, things like this, as much as you're doing it at the big scale, there's still, South Africa is big, there's also different areas, parts of the country, including here in the Western Cape, in the Cape Flats. How would you motivate someone who's listening in terms of if they have power to do such things? What are some of the ways that they can start off by doing?
Amazing question. The one initiative that I was actually thinking of as well, it's just, I mentioned perspective earlier. I mean, cancer, as you said previously, only often becomes a topic or is relevant when it really happens closest to home, all right? So what I'd actually love to do is invite people to come and join us. We'll start in the Western Cape if we have to, because we are based in the Western Cape, but we have children that we support across South Africa. But just to come in and do a walkthrough with us at the hospital to firstly gain that kind of perspective. I mean, if you haven't really been, exposed to experience to a family member with cancer, this will give you that deeper understanding of what these families are experiencing. And then from there, I mean, if it's, if you feel like you can or would love to, come on board and make a difference, you are absolutely welcome.
Please contact details, Kaashief. People want to get hold of you, want to read more regarding the organization. How can they do it?
So we will be doing our first, our visit to the Tygerberg Hospital Oncology Unit on Saturday at 3. So everyone's welcome. You can call me on 083-352-9842. Or you can reach us on our Facebook platform as well. That's Kids-Can Foundation.
Again, the number?
It's 083-352-9842.
Thank you very much, Kaashief. Kaashief, usually when we're saying goodbye to somebody, we always ask them, please, can you give us those words of motivation? In this case, obviously, people who are living with cancer, families who are still striving hard, giving hope to those patients who have cancer, even families, as you with your organization are dealing more with people that are affected, which are the kids or family members of the person who have. What would you like to say to that person now who's listening?
You know what? For me, it's as simple. It's just these are children who need, who actually have, a future ahead of them, all right? And if you just open up your eyes, open up your heart, and just make some time to kind of just try and understand what these families are going through, have a look at our platform, have a look at some of the stories that we've shared. You will see and actually hopefully get some kind of insight into what these families are going through. And it absolutely opens up your eyes and makes you appreciate, your health and just, just breathing every day, because sadly, I mean, I've just, a 7-year-old Veronique, I mean, she was, sent from Paul Hospital about 2 weeks ago. And sadly, when I looked at her mom's eyes, when I stood with the mom in the corridor of Tygerberg Hospital, and the mom said to me, there's nothing the doctors can do. And at 2:30 the next morning, she messaged me and my heart dropped. But that is just the kind of, perspective that we all need. I mean, we don't have to experience it, but it gives you enough insight and appreciation for your own life and just breathing every day.
Kaashief, I'm not going to add any further. Thank you very much for the beautiful work that you're doing for the community. And
no, thank you for having me.
And we wish that you will spark another light that will also do the same thing that you're doing.
Absolutely. God willing. Keep well, my brother, and thank you for